Randy Orton has disappeared, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out what's up with Danhausen, Chelsea Green, and more. Starting things off with Danhausen and this new mini mystery storyline that was just introduced for him. Danhausen has had several big run-ins with The Miz and Kit Wilson in recent weeks, and his issues with those two is morphing into a full-blown feud. This all reached a new climax on a recent edition of Smackdown, where The Miz teased the idea of splitting from Kit Wilson in order to team up with Danhausen and fully embrace the curse. But everything was not as it seemed. It turned out that The Miz and Kit Wilson staged the entire split, and it was a trap to get the upper hand on attacking Danhausen, which they did successfully do. And it wasn't long after this where Nick Aldis revealed that Danhausen will be able to get revenge on The Miz and Kit Wilson at Backlash, but only if Danhausen is able to find someone to tag with him for that match, setting up a big mystery partner angle for Danhausen at Backlash. Mystery angles have been pouring in non-stop in recent memory, and that trend continues here with this Backlash tag team match. Danhausen has been having a lot of fun teasing his big mystery partner for Backlash. He took to his social media platforms to reveal that he's willing to give a legend $400 million in order for them to come out of retirement and be his partner at Backlash. Some of those legends that Danhausen extended his offer to includes names like John Cena, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Danhausen even tagged Stardust in the post as well. So it was a funny viral post there by Danhausen to see the list of dream partners that he was willing to give a big payday to. But as far as realistic expectations for Danhausen's mystery partner, there are some pretty solid and logical picks out there amongst the community right now. Some fans are discussing the idea of Jelly Roll coming in as the surprise partner. Jelly Roll was reportedly supposed to have a match in one of the earlier versions of the Backlash card that would have saw him team up with Cody Rhodes to take on Randy and Pat. With that match being long scrapped, maybe this is how Jelly Roll would still get a match on the Backlash card. Other fans have brought up Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana is very similar to Danhausen in terms of being a fan favorite comedy act, so maybe that is a little duo there that would be very popular. Everyone knows that TKO is very big into viral individual moments, and that's something that Danhausen and Mr. Iguana can certainly achieve together. But the number one pick that appears to be one of the more likely candidates is Royce Keys. Royce Keys has been on SmackDown for a few weeks now, and has picked up a few exhibition wins, and even won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal match, but he needs something important to do as well. Royce Keys was seen recently on SmackDown catching up with his longtime friend Jacob, and he was also attacked by MFT, so he has some stuff brewing up there already. But maybe this is also a spot for Royce Keys to do something huge and keep building that momentum for himself. If Royce Keys is Danhausen's partner, that'll be Royce's premium live event in-ring debut. We technically saw him compete at the Royal Rumble earlier this year, but that's of course not your standard type of match. So this would be Royce's first time in a standard match on the premium live event stage. It could be the perfect platform for him to display his abilities, especially by helping out such a beloved character like Danhausen. That'll really get even more fans behind Royce Keys. Fans really feel like Royce Keys has a strong chance of being the mystery opponent, because this is basically the scrapped match that the company had in mind for Royce Keys at WrestleMania 42. According to early WrestleMania 42 reports, Jelly Roll and Royce Keys versus The Miz and Kit Wilson was being planned for the grandest stage of them all. Jelly Roll did have some encounters with The Miz and Kit Wilson on the road to WrestleMania, but the Royce Keys portion of that storyline never took place, and obviously the WrestleMania match never took place. But now here at Backlash, it's a tag team match against The Miz and Kit Wilson, the same exact opponents that they originally had scheduled for Royce Keys at WrestleMania 42. So a lot of fans think they'll slide Royce Keys into that mystery partner spot, because it's pretty much the same match that was planned before, just minus Jelly Roll of course. There'll still be a lot of funny moments considering Danhausen and Royce's extreme personality differences, and they could make for quite the entertaining tag team in that matchup. It would get Royce Keys to step into the ring with a former world champion and potentially build a big feud there with The Miz. It would also extend Danhausen's winning streak as well, which appears to be a narrative that the company is really leaning into. They're acknowledging that Danhausen is undefeated, so they may keep that going for a bit, and Royce Keys would be some major help in keeping that winning streak going. So don't expect anyone too insane to be Danhausen's mystery partner, but one of those more logical names definitely seem very likely. A big superstar on SmackDown may be going through a little character transformation soon. And this superstar in question is Chelsea Green. Back when she won the Women's United States title for the first time, Chelsea adapted a presidential gimmick. Since she was the United States champion, she carried herself as if she was a president. This led to getting her own Secret Service agents, which were Piper Niven and Alba Fire. Piper was lost due to a career-ending injury, and Alba was just recently lost due to the recent batches of releases. So Chelsea's entire presidential act has lost all of its core characters, leading fans to believe that a character change is coming up for Chelsea Green. And that's not something that fans are not fearful of, because Chelsea is extremely creative and has played an unlimited amount of different characters throughout her career. So Chelsea never struggles to reinvent herself. If they need her to come up with something fully new, it's a safe bet that Chelsea will deliver. Chelsea finally revealed on the May 1st edition of Smackdown that she's fully healed from her ankle injury and no longer needs her wheelchair. So with Chelsea back at full health, we gotta see how they use her going forward. As of this moment, it does seem like they're keeping Chelsea around the scene of the Women's United States title, so something could be brewing there. Tiffany is currently trying to deal with Kiana James and Julia, so could Chelsea Green actually come to Tiffany's aid and help her fight them off? Definitely seems like an out-of-character thing for Chelsea to do, knowing who her character usually is, but maybe she's changing her ways and could be the assistance that Tiffany needs dealing with that numbers disadvantage. Randy Orton has gone missing following WrestleMania 42, and more news and notes continue to come out about what's happening there. Heading into WrestleMania weekend, word was making waves that Randy was seriously hurt and banged up. A lot of talk about Randy's back giving him some pain again. This back pain was actually referenced by the commentators during the WrestleMania 42 match, leading fans to believe that maybe it was a fake report planted for the match. But Randy has not been seen since WrestleMania 42, which is now making fans think that Randy being banged up was probably real after all. So the rumor now is that Randy is taking some time off to get better and heal up. Randy going on a little injury hiatus also appears to explain why Night 1 of WrestleMania closed out in the fashion that it did. Night 1 closed out with Cody not even being able to celebrate his win, because he was instantly attacked by Randy, who hit him with the title, gave Cody a punt, and posed with the championship as the show faded to black. A lot of fans were very confused by that moment when it initially happened, but knowing now that Randy is away for a bit healing up, it looks like everything that happened with that post-match moment at WrestleMania was meant to leave Randy and Cody's feud on a cliffhanger and foreshadow what version of Randy will be coming for Cody Rhodes once he's back. Cody's not going to face the Pat version of Randy, he's going to face the punt-kicking version of Randy at his scariest state. Obviously, they just kicked off a feud between Cody and Gunther, so that should keep Cody busy for a while until Randy is back. There's no timetable for Randy's return, but fans speculate that the rematch between Randy and Cody could take place at SummerSlam since it's the next biggest show behind WrestleMania. So that feud may be put on pause for the time being, but it definitely seems like things will pick back up there again, maybe later this summer. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.